Pay no attention to some outside noise. It's a rainy day and everyone is inside the house today. Welcome to the final video that I am videotaping. Videotaping? Whoa. Final video that I'm filming for 2024. Honestly, when I was gathering around all the things that I had made this year, I was kind of in disbelief of like, it felt like a slow year, it felt like it didn't make too much. As I was grabbing the things for this video, I realized that I actually have made a lot, and there is way more than this. 26 plus items. I have other things that I made this year that are not for me, but this is everything that I've made for myself. And hello, if you don't know me, my name is Brooke. I love creating things, whether it's sewing, knitting, crochet, painting, being interrupted by small children. Even though my time is very stretched, I still like to make these videos. If you like to watch these videos, please consider subscribing. Also, you can hit the join button. It would mean so much to me. With that said,
Okay.
are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. So the first thing that we made in January of last year was the Aquarius dress. This was my birthday dress. I always like to make a special dress for my birthday, and this year it was this one. So we have a bunch of embroidery along here. There is a corset style top, and it is made out of like the noisiest, but still like softest like cotton fabric. This dress is like fully adjustable for like different sizes, so like if I'm feeling really bloated on one day or if I really want to be like snatched in. Underneath I added this panel that has elastic going across the front, under the bust, and at the waist, so that it really just feels so comfortable and can be adjusted to whatever I'm feeling that day. I really like this dress and how it turned out, so it was a really nice start to the year. This next one is my February coat. I love this coat so much. It is made out of a boucle fabric I bought from Blackbird Fabrics. It does need to be shaved a little bit. There is a little bit of pilling from the wool, but that's honestly okay. That's expected with wool fabrics. I was inspired by some pictures I found on Pinterest, as I do, and I really like how this turned out. It has 2 pockets at the front and then 4 buttons down the center. You open it up and it is just like the most beautiful like rusty red. I love the combination of a navy and a rusty red. Inner lining pocket on the one side. I like to add as many pockets as I can to coat, just for the purpose of having pockets. I drafted it from a coat that I had found at the thrift store. It has these raglan sleeves. I don't know if you can tell. I've shown process videos of making most of the things that I will be showing in this video on my channel, so be sure to browse through and see the ones that you would like to see. But this one is a staple in my closet. We are headed into March. Now this is kind of where I felt like I hadn't made that much. I was only pushing out like 1 project a month. I was really trying to focus on quality over quantity. And so for March, I had made this 70s inspired dress. This is out of a vintage bedsheet I had been hoarding for the last like 10 years, it feels like. And finally I had the opportunity to go to a Sheepdogs concert. I like making special dresses and outfits for occasions, and this is no exception. I love little bell sleeves. I have a beautifully fully lined zipper at the back. If you know me, I do not like zippers, so this was a big move for me. I love the little keyhole at the front, and it just fits so nicely. There was a bit of a process with drafting this pattern, but I think that it turned out pretty good. The next thing I made, I believe, if we're following on the process, this is the thing that I made in April. This is the Agnes sweater vest. It's from Bethany Lynn Makes. I think taking these granny squares and then configuring them into a pattern is just so cool. She did post a recent make of this pattern, but with different colors, and I love it so much. I really want to try it, but I need to be realistic in what I need, and I might do it anyway. This was my only crochet project of the year. I don't do it as much as I knit or sew, but it is one of the first things that I learned how to do when I was a kid, and I just like to always have a project that I can work on. I like always keeping my skills kind of fresh in my mind, so having projects like this, even if it's once a year, is just always nice to do. He got upset because I turned down his music. So the next thing I made in June, we had a little bit of a gap there, and for a very specific reason. I was going to say I accidentally got appendicitis. I got appendicitis and I was out of commission for a little bit. So after being in the hospital and recovering, I was able to work on this sweater. Oh, I gotta hold both of you at once. This sweater was so nice and easy to follow. This is the cloud sweater from Petite Knit. The one gripe I have is just that the neck hole, I don't know if I have a big head, but the neck hole just sometimes isn't as easy to put on over my head. So if I was to make this again in the future, that would be one thing that I would try to fix. Just making the neck hole a little bit easier to slip on. Especially when you have glasses, it's can be a little tricky. This will be forever known as the appendicitis sweater. Like I said, I was recovering from my surgery. I had just finished my crochet and knitting projects, the projects that I go to when I want to sit down and rest. So instead of starting a new crochet or knitting project, which I did try but just nothing came of it, I decided to go for something that I could possibly sit down, and that would be embroidery. I decided to adorn my embroidery box. This took so long, but it was so worth it. I have a video on my channel of how I made this one, but honestly, this was a labor of love that I needed to do. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. This box was sitting on my shelf just in like this musty yellowish beige color that I had painted over top of the original blue wicker, and it looked not good. So I decided to paint it all of this like nice wooden brown. So that looks very nice. I decided to embroider a vignette, I'll call it, of a bird's eye view of a koi pond. I love koi ponds. They are so pretty, and I decided to do some rain droplets in the corners and on the sides. I just love how this one turned out. All the little fish.
Little fish?
Yeah, little fish. But I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And it was a big project, but I am happy that it is over. You want to see?
Yeah.
It's a fish.
Mm.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Mama made. Let's move on to our next one. In the summer, there was a lot of drop waist dresses going around. They are so beautiful, especially just like a 80s, does 50s classic. Like just the shape of it is so flattering on like an hourglass body. So I decided to try my hand at doing that, but again, overachieving. I made it fully reversible. On this side we have this blue polka dot thrifted fabric that I had found at the thrift store. And then we have not only one zipper, but two, so that it is accessible. And fully reversible. So now there's a zipper on this side, and then this side is nicely closed. I have a full video on the process of making this. This was a lot of brain power to try and figure it out, especially with the whole zipper situation, but I'm pretty happy with how this one ended up. I think that this one just turned out really, really cute. Just as I was finishing that last project, I saw someone on TikTok showing off a House of CB dress, I think. But I did make it out of the exact same pattern that I had in my last dress. So it is a drop waist dress with a mini skirt, and then I used the same fabric that I had for the last one, but instead of leaving it just plain, I took my alcohol markers and I decided to make the flowers more vibrant, just like the House of CB dress. And only one zipper down the back. I was being easy on myself, but this one was also a very fun project to make, and a very impulsive one at that. Speaking of impulsive make, I don't know where this idea came from, but it came to me and I just had to do something about it. But I wanted to make a dress inspired by... Why do I always forget the name? I don't know why, but I just had this idea stuck in my head, and again, the impulsiveness, I just had to try it. So the entire front is made out of quilted, I'll call it, panels of different patches of fabric, and then the back I decided to make fully mesh and see-through, and then continue it on with the skirt. If you can tell me what flag this is reminding you of, I honestly don't know. I'm not trying to put a flag on the back of my dress. It just happened, and for some reason I feel like it looks like a flag. If you know, leave it in the comments. I would very much appreciate that. So because of the embroidery chest, I was then able to work on a project that I wanted to for a while. Image on Pinterest of an athletic crop top. Looked like China. Not china, but like dinnerware china. I just thought it looked so pretty that I wanted to see if I could do it myself. I was going to try and draw everything on, but because it was going to be an athletic top and I would probably be sweating in it and I wanted to wash it a lot, I decided that everything was going to bleed. And I did many tests and came to the result of everything bled. So instead of that, I decided that, well, if I can't draw, which would be the easy term, the next best thing would be to embroider it. You know how long this took me? This took me probably a month of just off and on going back and doing little sections of like here, then down here, up and over, and then we also have the back too. And I think that is just so pretty. I love it so much. And I said I was going overboard at this point, and I was. Now we're getting into the thrift flips. The first one that I had done for this year, which is very surprising. I mean, aside from like the thrifted bedsheet dress, I have three thrift flip items. I can have the hardest time saying that word. Thrift flip items that I had made for this year. I had this very big floral pattern dress. I believe this dress originally was from Shein. I hate seeing Shein at the thrift store, but when they have a nice print and pattern, I'm gonna save it from the landfill because, you know, it's going there eventually. I decided to crop it into a crop top and a long billowy skirt. The next thing that I had made, I had a vision for the longest time. This was sitting in my to mend, to do something with pile for the longest time, and these are my suspender pants. So it almost reminds me of like a smock apron, and I love that. I think that these are so comfy. I get so many compliments on them, and I love them to bits. And the last thrift flip that I had made for that video, I think this was in July or August, is this beautiful red jumpsuit. I was wearing this as just like a dusty coral jumpsuit, which did not look good at my skin at all. It really washed me out. It was the wrong color, everything. I love a little bit of a cooler tone red. I just think that this brings out like the pinkness in my cheeks and makes me look more alive. I tried so many times to dye this to a solid color. It didn't work out that way, but that's okay because it turned out this like almost like tie-dye, which I think makes it still look really cool. Again, we're gonna keep on the red train here, and this is the next thing that I had made. I knit this keyhole front blouse. Sorry, he's working with a garbage truck right now. So this one doesn't have an official pattern. I think I based it off of the novice sweater, and that just gives me this like seamless transition from the neck and out with just like simple increases. And then I added a slight puff sleeve, keyhole with an I-cord tie. This one just turned out so cute. I really like wearing this. This is again Knit Picks palette yarn in, I believe, Firecracker. Happy to have this in my wardrobe. I told you I love red. I have this red gingham dress that I had made. This is the McCall's M757 something. I based this off of a dress that Rosary Apparel had made a few years back, and I just fell in love with it. So I changed a few things about the pattern. You can see the whole video process on me doing that, but I just made it into a square neckline. I definitely will be wearing this more in the spring and summer when it is not -8 degrees outside. Gotta love Canada, right? So the next three things are thrift flips, and I was now going into more specific categories for thrift flips. So in this one, we tried to do some shirts. This first one I made out of an apron that I had found at the thrift store, and I turned it into a vest with a little ruffle at the bottom and then this little bow front. Now, I can make this reversible, so it can be just like a straight plain one, and I just love the versatility of it. This next one I wasn't totally sure about. I made it into a peplum top with a square neck. Honestly, it looks very nice when it's on, but just something about a peplum kind of takes me back to when I was like a teenager and everything was a peplum. So part of me likes it, part of me is a little like, do I really want to go back to those times? But honestly, I haven't given it away yet, so I do like it in some aspect. And the last one I think is one of my most worn items of the year, this green top. I found this thrifted bedsheet at the store and I immediately fell in love with the color. I've worn it in so many outfits this year that it is a new definite staple. So if you want to see how I made those 3 shirts, you can check the video. I feel like a broken record saying it, but just so you know, it's there. This one, super cute, I love it. At this point of the year, I was starting to make a bunch of dance costumes. I was kind of preoccupied in what I could make, but I did have time to make this for Halloween. I decided to dress up as Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service, one of my favorite movies as a kid. I grew up watching it again and just like reminding myself of how much it means to me and how much I love it. This one I made out of a navy bedsheet from the thrift store, and I just dyed it to be a little bit more dark and a little bit more purpley red. I based this off of the pearl blouse pattern from Amity Studio Patterns. I do see myself using digital patterns in the future, but I am one that likes to draft my own patterns for myself, so maybe next year I will try to do a little bit more of digital printing, because there are so many patterns from other creators that I love and I would love to try. So that will be in the future. Here are some patterns that I would like to try. It was my son's first year of kindergarten. Oh, he's getting so big, but that means that he needs a big boy backpack. So I wanted to make him his own backpack out of his favorite colors, which are blue and brown. It is filthy, but that's what I get for giving a light colored bag to a 4-year-old. I basically took a backpack that I had found at the thrift store and made it a little bit smaller. It is still huge, but I made it a little bit smaller and just put my own fabric onto it and used all the same hardware, like the handle, the straps, and then all of this hardware like the buckles and the magnets, just really make it look like an actual professional backpack. Now, if I had more time, this would look so much better, but it is good enough for now, and maybe in a few years I'll make him a new one for when he goes into grade 1. My boys are growing up. These next 2 things I again made very impulsively. I found this beautiful like mesh gathered fabric from my local fabric store. I remember seeing a shirt made out of something like this on Pinterest, and I just really wanted to try it, especially because it looks so simple. It is basically just 3 rectangles with holes cut out, sewn all together, and then added elastic around the sleeves. I have a video showing how I made this white one. I just watched the Wicked movie. This one is definitely giving me Elphaba. So the last few things I'm going to show are from my last thrift flip. I have the bra top and the secret pants made from a thrifted bedsheet made into a dress that I then turned into this. So I originally made the Matilda dress from Cool Stitches. Love that pattern, love that dress, but I just wasn't wearing that dress enough, and I really liked the top that it had made, so I decided to keep the top, and then I wanted to make the bottom half of the dress into a pair of secret pants, and I love it. I wish that I could turn every dress that I have ever made into a pair of secret pants, and honestly, I might just try. The last 2 things that I have to show you are downstairs, so I'm gonna go run and get them. The last thing that I had made in that thrift flip video were these patch pants. These ones are so fun, I honestly wear them all the time. Again, this is the red from that coat that I had made in February. A bunch of these patches are things that I have made before. This is fabric that I had used a few years ago to make a wedding dress that I had made to a friend's wedding. Grabbed them out of the laundry, so they're going to go right back there. But the last thing that I had made for 2024 is this little sweater. This is the festival sweater pattern from Petite Knit, made out of Swish DK yarn from Knit Picks. This is for my nephew. I was supposed to finish this for Christmas. I got very far behind because of the last thing that I want to talk about, but I think that this one just turned out so cute. I'll post a photo of what it looks like when it is fully blocked and finished, but until then, this is the last thing that I had made for my own personal projects of 2024. I do say personal projects because there are quite a few things that I have made in this past year that definitely have taken a lot of my time up, and it is a labor of love, and I would like to show you a few of them now. I've been starting to make dance costumes, and these are just a few of the ones that I finished. I have quite a few downstairs, a few that are already with the dancers for competitions, but I think that these ones just turned out so pretty. And then here are just a few more of the ones that took me a long time, but I'm very proud of. We've got the clown one with the little pom-poms. And these shorts that took me forever, but I love them. Then we have some fully finished ones. This is the witch one that I made. I love how this one turned out. It was so pretty. And we have a magnet back. The hood falls off and attaches right back to its spot. And you need to actually like forcefully pull it off because it goes right back to where it needs to go. Very proud of this invention. Thank you. We have a nude textured leotard. We have a nude textured unitard that I'm going to be painting with like a whitewash if I can make sure that adding paint onto this mesh fabric won't decrease the amount of ability of getting it on and off. That's my big fear of putting paint on this. I made this so that it fits perfectly. If I put paint on it, it's not going to stretch the way it did before, and that can cause a lot of problems. So we need some more tests on this, but it is fully fitted and finished. This one I had made this beautiful white dress with like flowers flowing down the skirt, and then I was told by the choreographer, great, now make it look really dirty. And I don't know if you can tell, but these flowers, and then right here, all of this paint job, you can see the bottom. This concept was just going to a party, fall in the mud. I think I did a pretty good job. As number on here, some crystals down the back. And the last one I want to show you is something that I'm very proud of, not only because I'm very proud of how it looks, but I'm proud because I want to have one for my own. It's beautiful lace, almost like a long nightgown wrap dress that goes over top. Love how this one turned out, and they look so great in it. Kind of why I've been MIA for the last few weeks. Obviously, when your family gets sick, who's going to take care of them? It's been very busy. I've been trying to keep up with everything, but it has been a little bit hard. Especially around this time of year. Definitely feel a little bit more down when I'm in this weather. But, you know, we try our best and take each day at a time. I'm going to be putting out a bunch of short form content on these dance costumes. If you like what you saw there, then stay tuned for that. If you like what you saw over here, there'll be long form content on all of these types of makes in the future. Knitting, crochet, painting, home renovations is a new one, so be prepared for that. I have quite a few projects in the works up here, so stay tuned for that one. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has stuck around for this long, and not only in the video. If there's people that have been around here from the conception of this channel, I want to say thank you so much. It means so much to me to be able to make this type of content and connect with people and have them comment back on what they like, what they maybe have tips on what I can fix for the future. And it honestly just makes me feel so good to have this type of community that I can talk to. So I really, really, from the depths of my heart, appreciate every single one of you. You guys, we've made it to the end of the year. I hope everyone has a great New Year's and has the best hopes and wishes for 2025. Let's just all do this together. We can do this. Everyone go check in on your friends, see how they're doing, because you never know what people might be going through. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.